this Nazi Germany? No, it's the Sounds Obtuse Podcast. I'm Chris. With me always is my co-host,
Dylan.
How's it going, man?
Dude, as always, it's going great. I'm in the pod with my buddy. We got some White Claw Surge we're sipping on.
Yeah, my alleged arch nemesis.
It definitely was. We've been kicking it all day, just having a good time planning this thing out. I'm really excited.
Yeah, we've been vibing. We've been generating ideas, locking down those ad sponsors before.
Oh yeah, making those phone calls live. Making those phone calls to every obscure business.
We got them though, don't you worry.
Oh boy, do we?
We do. So we got a good one for you today. In fact, don't we?
We do.
I did ask.
To quote Steve Harvey.
We do. Yeah. How have you been, man?
So, really good recently. My mom was in town. She is in town. She's in town currently, like live. So, been hanging out with her, catching up. Haven't really seen her in like 3 years. So, I kind of mentioned she was coming out, but now she's here, and it's been just wonderful. Just love hanging out with her, doing stuff.
That's good when you can't see them for a long time.
Yeah, it's
as much as you can.
Yeah, you know, it's a really tough drive coming all the way out. Luckily, my sister was able to go out there. Fly out there and then drive her back, and she's gonna drive her back to Kentucky and then fly back. She's doing all kinds of crazy work.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's super nice. But she got her here. Shout out Dana, getting mom out here. Just great, just loving it. Went and did some serious drinking last night. A place
with your mother?
No. With our friends at Y-Rock, York River Oyster Company. Went down there. They have a $4 drinks. Like super strong drinks, $4 drinks up until 6 o'clock, and as many hands are as at the table, you can have that many drinks. So you can just order like a bunch of drinks. So like right before 6 o'clock, I was like, "Yo, let me get 3 drinks," and she was like, "Yeah, totally." And then spiral from there.
Okay.
Yeah, good times though. It was.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's quite a
save
bit.
That money though.
Yeah, that's true. If you're gonna be there,
people are ordering like $10 drinks, and I'm still over here just like, let me just pull from my pool of already purchased drinks. It was good times.
That sounds like a fun night. Any other events, things like that happening this week?
Man, probably, but you know, life's a blur.
Well, I got a few.
Tell me.
So I almost died this week.
Oh shit, bro, that's crazy.
I had to call poison control.
No way.
No cap.
No cap. You're not capping. Dead ass for real?
I might be exaggerating a little bit.
Did you call poison control?
I did.
What?
She was cute too. She sounded really cute. She called me honey and everything.
That's why you called.
I thought about calling back, just pretending.
Oh no, I did it again.
Yeah. What I did though was I took I accidentally took 2 allergy pills. Like I had 2 out, and I took one, and I was like, that would suck if I accidentally took 2 of them, and then I did, and I was like, oh shit. And like I tried vomiting and everything. Did vomit. I didn't think it would kill me, but you know, it's like 24 hours. Tell you what though, the next day, no allergies. No, 0.
Bit of a shock to the system.
Absolutely.
You got it.
So there was none. Also got to do a fight with a fly today.
Who won?
So he eventually fled, but it was like a good like 50 feet. We're talking like imagine like in real time perspective. You know what I'm talking about? The Boy Scouts place with the main entrance of the school right next to it. That stretch the whole time.
Oh, he was just like
dude
coming in.
He landed on my shirt. I shoot him away, shook my shirt, dive bombed me 3 or 4 times. Like the last time I swatted him down, and he knew. He was like, all right, I fuck with you.
Like the Luftwaffe.
He came back several times, swear to God.
You knew it was the same one?
Dude, it was. It was a horsefly. He was fucking huge. It was like, why me? Like, why right now? That was too much. Other than that, I've just been playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Beat 'em up. Dropped this week. It's super fun. By the same guys did Sky Poker vs. the World. Published by the same guys as Streets Rated 4. Another great beat 'em up. Possibly the best beat 'em up of all time. Time will tell.
Time will tell?
Turtles and time will tell. Okay. Another beat 'em up. So that was pretty fun. I did some other news I like to run through. If you're
please, yeah. I got a little news story too.
Knowing what happened. So some quick ones, just some little bloops and bloops. I'm sure you're familiar now. Jack Coke. They got the cans.
Oh, yes.
Jack Coke. They also got the American honey flavor, and I think 0 sugar.
We gotta try them out.
So they're available in select spots. The closest to us is like Maryland, but their worldwide rollout is 2023. So we'll get them eventually.
They have some drinks like that at ABC, so we could just go there.
These are 7%. They're I think it's like $16 for a 4-pack, something like that. So like $4 a bottle, basically. Not too bad. Another food and drink news: Kraft Macaroni and Cheese is changing their name.
They get canceled.
It's offensive macaroni. We'll talk about offensive Italians later on. But no, they're changing it to Kraft Mac and Cheese.
Because they probably added too much of some filler, and now they can't legally call it macaroni.
You're probably 100% right. You know, I bet. You're fucking right. So, an end of an era, 84 years. Done. No more. Possibly the biggest news this year. We got another monkey death. So...
Like a Harambe kind of situation?
Basically.
No.
So we got a monkey who was in a bulletproof vest and a diaper. He was found dead.
Very protected.
He was found dead after a bloody cartel shootout in Mexico. He was found, like, sprawled out across his presumably dead owner. I got a photo.
No, I don't want to see. Aw. Aww.
And describe what you're seeing there.
It's the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's a gadded up little monkey.
It really is. It's like there's a dead cartel guy.
He's got a little
and
hoodie
then right
on.
next to him is a little monkey in a hoodie and a bulletproof vest and diaper. And they're all shot up. That's sad.
Yeah, it could just be liberal media photoshopping chimps.
I didn't want to see that.
I'm sorry.
Well, dick's out for that monkey.
Yeah, dick's out for the monkey. In other news, Biden fell down. I don't know how you feel about that.
It happens.
It happens.
I fell down 2 days ago. Nobody calls me old. Like, I don't understand it. I don't.
You'll get there.
People fall down. Donald Trump's hair fucking blew over one time. Like, what do you want? Like, they're also people.
You ever see the guy, I think it was like St. Louis mayor who had like the Trump socks? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, so like Trump shows up in his town and he like pulls up his socks and it's like Trump with like little hair on it you could like fuck with.
Nice.
Yeah. Justin Bieber's face is paralyzed.
I heard. That's sad, obviously.
Yeah, I suggested putting like a Phantom of the Opera type mask. You know, just going hard.
I mean,
if anyone could do it,
it's not a bad idea.
It's Biebs. Let's be real.
He could probably pull it off. I think so.
He could totally pull it off. Chris Pratt, star of Super Mario, the movie, he says he's not going to offend Italians.
Good luck.
And as an Italian, I'm offended.
Already?
That he's not going to live up to, you know, we just want representation, even if it's in a plumber form. I think we need it. That's what I'm saying, as an Italian.
I like to think that he's just going to be like Andy Dwyer dressed as Mario. Like, he's not going to do like the accent.
What is he going to do? Like, it's not going to be right, I think, no matter what at this point. Everyone else, like, that's why the rest of the cast is so strong. They just went with, like, milquetoast Chris Pratt.
Why
Super
didn't
Mario.
you just get an Italian who could do as much as they wanted?
Yeah. I mean, it's
could
not
go
very
as
hard.
hard into that accent as they wanted.
Yeah, get, like, Robert De Niro, man. Shit. Like...
It's a me.
Fucking Mario. Yeah, that'd be great. Let's get the De Niro cut. Come on.
That'd be great. Oh, man.
Let's see what else happened. Rest in peace, Tony Siragusa. He was the football guy. He was the on-field NFL Fox correspondent.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That's sad.
Very sad. He's
Part
of the
of
Ravens
sad, man, you
2000 team.
kind of bummed me out today, Chris.
I'm sorry, man.
A lot of sad stuff.
Oh, I got a note here that says the new Kraft Mac and Cheese logo is like a smiling noodle. That's like dripping cheese, whereas the old one was not dripping cheese. So that's really the differentiator. That's really all I got as far as headlines. You got any news for us?
I think I do. So a little local transit news. We have a new transit hub coming to Newport News. So it's going to be Amtrak station. It's going to replace the current Amtrak station, which is about 9 miles south of where they're building the new one. It's going to be more accessible to people with disabilities, which is awesome. And then it's going to be a lot closer to us. It's going to have parking area for people to park there because it's going to serve, again, as transit hub, not just Amtrak station. So HRBT buses are going to be coming through there. It's going to be like a destination for them. They're also going to have direct service going out to Newport News Williamsburg Airport. So like direct shuttle service there. So really just honing in on like transit. It's one of several projects planned over the next 6 years where the city plans to spend $6 billion in
Billion with a B?
Billion with a B, $6 billion in an effort to what they're calling getting people off highways and on to trains. And I love it.
I think
That's
we
what
need
we
more
need.
of that. Yeah, we need
We
more
need
of that.
so much more of that. Like, make it easy for people to go places without having to drive, and I bet you they will go.
Yeah, the reason they're not because there isn't.
And, like, I even think about, like, going up to Richmond via Amtrak sometime and just not having to drive all the way. And, like, if I'm only, like 20, 30 minutes from an Amtrak station here, and I can just, I do that for the experience, save wear and tear on my car,
Get on a bus.
not be another
Basically, at that
driver.
point.
I think it's amazing. Some of the other stuff they're going to be doing over the next 6 years, they're going to have in 2026, we can expect a third daily train from Newport News to DC.
Really?
So
That's good.
Yeah. So the new outbound train is going to be around 7:00. Right now they have a 5:00 train, which is already amazing. I love that they have a 5:00 train. New one's going to be at 7, and then the inbound train we don't know. They haven't told us when it's going to be. So we currently kind of have one that comes back in like mid-afternoon, and we have one that comes back in like later afternoon, but we have nothing that comes back that much later than that. So we're hoping it's another late train,
Do
like
you
even
think
later.
they'll do like overnight?
Not overnight, that wouldn't make any sense, but I'm hoping that they'll do like a train that like has you departing DC around say 7 or 8 as opposed to 5. That would be cool. Because right now, if you want to get back to Newport News, you got to catch the second to last train leaving DC. Not fun.
Yeah, that's still kind of
Sucking up your time, you know, especially when it's like 5:00. So I mean, it's just not enough time. So I'm super excited. Coming to Newport News, hopefully August of this year.
I can't wait for that.
I know.
Got
Got to go take a little train trip, even if it is just
for
like
sure.
to Fredericksburg or somewhere like that. Like, oh my god, dude! If I was going to Fredericksburg, I'd happily drive right down there and book train and just do it that way. It'd be so much better.
Yeah, I think they're just fun too.
It is. It's an experience. It isn't just driving somewhere. It's like, you know, and you can do stuff while you go there. But I digress. You already know I'll talk about trains for the entire pod if you let me.
We'll have to do a train pod.
We have to do a train pod again.
A straight up train pod.
Train pod.
Like fucking Thomas and
Let's
everything
do it.
else.
Bring them all in.
Any other news stories?
Nah, man.
I did have one more thing that happened to me this week that kind of connects to our main topic this evening.
Okay.
So I think it would be a great segue before we go to ad break. So this week, I'm outside at work, right? Just hanging out where they kind of just chill, maybe smoke a cigarette, you know, that sort of thing. Converse with your cohorts. You know where the bench is located.
We do.
So where the bench is located, there's a sign that says no parking. Right? You can see it right there. This lady drives up, stops, parks, turns off her car, gets out, walks in, goes shopping.
You don't turn off your car. That's like the rule. Like, if it's still going, you can kind of get away with it.
No, she turned off and exited.
It was just like, well, this is where I'm going to park. 'Cause
Yes.
I'm better than everyone.
Yes.
But yeah, we're gonna have more to say about that when we
Yes.
come back.
Dude, yeah. Should I leave it there and tell the rest of that story
I
when
think
we
so.
come back? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A little teaser.
Yeah, nice little teaser. We'll be back. We got to pay some bills, though. We'll take an ad break.
See you soon.
Today's show is brought to you in part by...
Tough Muffler. Howdy again, folks. Do you like flags for trucks? Then I have great news for you. Time to go from D-bag to A-bag with new Tough Muffler, the toughest muffler around. Unlike those wimpy little quiet mufflers, our patented Tough Muff technology is way louder, guaranteed to piss off your neighbors, dogs, veterans with PTSD, and literally anybody else you come into contact with. And that's not all. Not only is it so loud, but it also screams, "I am cool and have a large dick." just in case the smart car-loving liberal in front of you wasn't aware. And don't just take our word for it. Legendary automaker Lethal Vehicle says Tough Muffler is the only muffler they use, and they sell tanks. Other happy customers include Jay Leno, any male country artist under 40, and that loud-ass motherfucker 3 houses down. Use code ALPHAMALE to get a free set of truck nuts. Because honestly, why not if you've gone this far? Your vanity requires that everyone pay attention to you at all times. And that's why Tough Muffler is the best accessory your dad will ever buy for your truck, which he also bought. Make your muffler tougher with Tough Muffler.
I love Tough Muffler, man. Let me tell you. Like, I don't drive. We discussed that in the bonus questions episode. Mm-hmm. But if I did, Lethal Vehicle, Tough Muffler, you better believe there's going to be a flag in the back of that thing, too.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes I kind of like it because I'll be next to a car that has a flag in the back. And I'm like, oh, you know, one of these with a tiny dick, and then they'll like take off, and it'll be like, I am cool and have a large dick, and I'm like, you know what? I was wrong.
Yeah, and
Muffler even said so.
And I would definitely like, even though it's still dark out and like rainy and stuff, but it's 6 a.m., so headlights gotta go off, for sure.
It's not a bad idea.
You get your Tough Muffler.
Absolutely.
No headlights.
Jay Leno is also a fan. That's awesome.
Jay Leno. Speaking of headlines, funny guy. Jay Leno, come on. Tough Muffler, Jay Leno, the perfect combination.
Absolutely.
It's better than Twilight Zone and Beetleborgs.
Tough Muffler, thank you for supporting the pod.
Thanks.
And we're back. So, we are going to be talking about Karens today. And on that, I'm going to send it over to Christian, and he's going to elaborate on his story.
So, as we left off, this potential Karen?
Possibly.
Sounds
like it.
Possibly. Parks literally 10 feet away from a no park fire, the fire lane, gets out of her car and goes shopping. And I'm standing there, I kind of can't believe it. And I'm on my break.
Was your jaw agape?
Yeah, I could not believe this. So I go inside, and she's like been shopping for a while, but before I went inside, I called the non-emergency police number. Because, God forbid, our store burns down. I don't want this, dare I say, F&B parked where the where the fire trucks got to get to. Because she didn't want to walk an extra 10 feet from the handicap spot. She has to park in front of emergency vehicle access. Is that selfish? Does she care?
You or her?
Her.
I think yes. She was being selfish. You, jury's out on that one. Did she get towed?
So I don't know the full story, but I saw the cop come in because I said, "Hey man, you need to get down here," because I knew she's gonna be in there a while. You know,
you can just tell
based off her stature. I could just tell she's a slow walker, and the cop comes by, and then he goes to customer service, calls the license plate. I don't know if she heard, but I'm pretty sure he waited out there for her. Don't know what happened then, but you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that.
Fight him,
now,
Chris.
let me ask you, do you think I was justified in calling the non-emergency police number for someone parked in the emergency lanes?
I mean, I think pettiness could be a reason. I think that could be a justification.
Is it pettiness, or is it like this woman is breaking the law right now? I know we got cops up and down the street less than a mile away. Send someone over, give them a citation, a warning at the very least. Say, hey, you can't be parked here in front of this store where the emergency...
Correct their behavior.
Yeah, correct their behavior at the very least. Like,
why are we parenting them, Chris? Why do we have to do it?
That's a good question. So, some might say I'm being a Karen. Some might say she's being a Karen.
I was gonna say, like, who's the Karen in this story?
So there's some sort of justification to be made for either of those actions.
Probably.
I feel like I was in the right because, she was doing something quite literally illegal, and safety first, no matter what. I will be as sanctimonious as possible in the name of safety.
I love you. You're amazing.
But on this instance, I was like, nah, bitch. This place ain't burning down because you didn't want to walk 10 feet. That's how I felt like it came down to.
Well, you have a heart of gold, so I trust the actions that you take.
But not everybody has my heart of gold.
Not everyone does.
And some people are just straight up Karens about it.
Straight up Karens.
What is a Karen, Dylan?
A Karen, you know what? I was trying to kind of come up with like my own idea.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to put it in my words what I thought they were. So here's my attempt at that. The Karen is an entitled person who wants to use their privilege to impose their will over others. While typically seen in the middle-aged straight white female variety, the Karen can be any age, race, gender, or orientation.
I agree with that. There's definitely some archetypes that go along with being a Karen. Not necessarily true, like you said. It's not exclusive to anything. It's a mindset. It's an attitude.
Absolutely. It's Karen mindset. It just happens to crop up in middle-aged white women for some reason.
With bob cuts.
Can I just run you through like a brief history of
Please.
the Karen? So long before there was the Karen, I forgot to mention, I should have, because it's kind of blatant for me to leave it out, and I didn't really mean to, but I should have said that the Karen is also inherently, in most ways that we talk about it, racist in some way. Usually her actions are against minorities, things like that. She's happy to throw herself around.
Do you think that's what defines a Karen?
I don't know, but here's the history of it. I stole some of this from NPR. Shout out NPR. They always do really good work. So the history of the Karen during the antebellum period, okay, so around 1815, 1861, we had Miss Anne.
Mm-hmm.
So Miss Anne was sort of like slang for a white woman who is aware of her whiteness and the status it conveys and is complicit with the system that preserves that status. Okay, so she was aware of her role in the situation. She could, like maybe she's the slave owner's daughter or wife, or maybe she's not a slave owner herself, but maybe she just is an well-to-do woman. Either way, she understands that she's white. She has a better place in the world than other people.
A perceived privilege.
For sure. Especially in that day and age where it certainly was a privilege. I mean, it still is. It still is, but it was far more a privilege back then, I think we can safely say. That gives way to, in the 1990s, we have the Becky. Some of you be familiar? Slang for a white woman who is happily ignorant and unaware her whiteness is complicit with the system that upholds her status. So the main crux of that being, the Becky doesn't know. The Becky's not trying to throw around her privilege to take advantage of people. She's oblivious to the fact that she is way more privileged than other people. The Becky will often say things, like she thinks that she can't be racist or do racist things or say racist things because she has dated a couple black guys. That's the stereotypical Becky.
She's ignorant.
She's just like blissfully ignorant. Then in the 2010s,
the third stage evolution.
The third form. the now for my third and final form, like an anime villain. We have the Karen coming to us live in the 2010s. The Karen popped up, when you have basically she is a white woman who is very much more like Miss Anne. She is not blissfully ignorant. She is happily aware of her status, and she's
maliciously?
Yes, and she wants to throw it around. She wants to, I don't like that there's black people having a cookout, so I'm going to go ruin it. I don't like that there's these young kids on skateboards, so I'm going to go over there and ruin
just
that.
Negative for no reason.
Negative for no reason.
Get in people's business for nothing.
I would say that the Karen is often defined by race, but race does not have to be the issue for a Karen to do something.
It's not.
It doesn't have to be. It's not guaranteed, but it's often accompanying what she does.
I think a lot of it, aside from race, could be just like attention. They just gotta have that attention.
See, I was gonna ask, like, what leads to a Karen?
Yeah.
Is it lack of love, affection, happiness,
I think
things
all those
to
things.
do?
I think all those things. So, like, potentially some... Like, what deep-seated childhood issue could lead to a Karen that you could possibly even think of?
I don't know, man. Like, I guess
Is it that kind of psychological? Is it a mental disease being a Karen?
Do you think... Now, look, I'm going to have to get, like, speculatively sexist here.
Okay.
But do you think it has anything to do with maybe like a lack of control in certain situations, so they seek it in other situations? Like, okay, maybe, and again,
I honestly wouldn't even say that's inherently a sexist question.
I mean, but this is like, just like shrink spitballing here. I'm no shrink, but it's like
we are literally in armchairs.
Maybe your husband is like really domineering and doesn't let you do anything. Maybe he just kind of demands from you. You know, expects you to be that model housewife. So whenever you go out to the grocery store,
you expect the same standards.
You just sort of like, well, this is the one place I can assert control because I'm at a grocery store and they have to obey me. The customer is always right.
So you think it's
so in this place
because they seek it out.
Yeah. They don't have it somewhere else, so they seek it out where they can get it. That's why they always yell at people who are in service industry, like people like cashiers or people behind deli counters, people who literally cannot react. That's the people that they come in and target most of the time. I mean, obviously not always, but that is
usually they target the manager.
They also want to speak to that manager. Boy, do they!
Yeah, they just have this this entitlement. That I don't quite understand. Maybe it's not that I'm the standard typical prototype Karen, you know? Like I'm not that white privileged middle-aged.
I mean, but we are both white boys. Like
I look white. I wouldn't say I'm white.
Shut up. We are undeniably white.
Some might say.
We are undoubtedly white.
I'm not as white as people think I am.
Okay, granted, but I'm saying from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
You're a white guy.
True, but that's the perceived entitlement that someone might perceive me. I don't have that entitlement because that just because I look away doesn't mean I was raised a certain way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it does come down to being raised a certain way. Like I said, just not having an outlet. I think, you know, no matter what your situation is. Like me and you, we got this podcast. We talk every week. We vent a little bit. You know, we're venting here about some negative people that exist on this earth, and it's a shame we can't figure out why, you know? Mm-hmm. What's your least favorite Karen?
Like type of Karen?
Yeah. You got parking lot Karens, you got skateboard Karen, you got deli Karen.
I'm gonna say just because I see them every day, deli Karen. Yeah, deli Karens. I had a lady come in one time. She just came in. And she motioned me over, and I was like, "Hey, how can I help you?" And she goes, "I just want to let you know that these rotisserie chickens are the worst I've ever seen."
And that's all they want to say.
And then she just have a nice day. Walks off, and then she goes and complains to the manager because I didn't do anything about it. What? I don't know what you want me to do. The manager came over, looked at the chicken. She's like, "Those look like rotisserie chickens." I was like, "They look fine, don't they?"
I don't get it. I don't either. I don't get it.
And then the lady who came over to your brother in produce one time, it was almost Christmas Eve, basically Christmas Eve. And she needed cranberries. So she comes in, she's getting cranberries. We don't have them because it's, almost Christmas Eve and we're out because why wouldn't we be? And so she's talking to your brother and she's like, "I need cranberries. You don't have any." And Lou is like, "Well, we don't have any. You're correct. What do you want me to do?" And she goes, "Well, you ruined my Christmas." He's like, "Well, I didn't."
I can't believe my brother did that. I'll have to have a talk with him. How can you do that?
No. She said.
I know. I'm fucking around.
Oh, okay. God, stop it. But so yeah, that's the grocery store Karen, I guess.
I was actually passing by and there was someone asking, can they make a sushi at the deli? It's like, man, why are you just giving someone a hard time for no reason? And it's like, what is that reason?
Yeah, I honestly think that some of them just come in just to cause drama.
I think so. I think there's just some sort of chaotic nature.
I think that they
some of these individuals.
They wake up, drink their coffee, get dressed, and they're like, "All right, time to go ruin some grocery store worker's day."
Yeah, whoever they can get an opportunity on to just be a bitch to, male or female, they will just pounce on it.
Absolutely.
And they will double down.
They're
vicious. I feel like sometimes they what they'll do is they'll be in the wrong. They'll realize it themselves. They don't want to seem stupid, so they double down.
Gotta double down.
You know what I mean? They double down and just get mad at everything. That chicken's terrible, no matter what it is. They'll raise their voice, cross their arms, stand in place, grandstand, die on a hill.
Dude, they just want a hill to die on sometimes. I feel like They just want. I don't know what it is. It's so fascinating when you like see them like just like go off like the real ones. Like I see Karen behavior every single day, but the real ones that like just like go off and explode, like they're fun to watch. It's like, man, you are. I don't know. She got that Vicodin, got that wine, like.
And we haven't really quite touched on like those racist Karens, you know, who are straight up just ruining people's fun just because they are racist, you know, or
solely for the sport of it, like
those are like
a barbecue. You're gonna go ruin someone's barbecue.
Yeah, what exemplifies the standard Karen, you know. We're kind of using that term more loosely to.
I think we do in general now. I think a lot of things have become that's Karen behavior. When in reality, like you can stay focused on the fact that the real Karens are the ones who do it for racial reasons.
Yeah,
I think
that's like
sort of like a hard Karen and a soft Karen.
Mm-hmm. And so you can be under the same umbrella, but there's always those Karen extremists, and they are the Karen extremists.
Man, there are certain kinds of extremists that I dislike, but boy, are Karen extremists top of the list.
So I think there's another thing that I kind of mentioned earlier. Like, I think some Karens just don't know how to act in public.
When they don't get their way.
You said it. But they just don't know how to function in public. Like, you know, we did an episode on autism. I'm still kind of questioning some of my own life decisions and choices and paths. And, you know, am I potentially on a spectrum? That's neither here nor there. But there's sometimes I'm like, it's kind of hard to function in public, right? When you say in a social setting, sometimes it's difficult.
I mean, I'm socially awkward AF, dude. I struggle so hard.
Now imagine being like socially awkward, but also you have a bob haircut.
Well, it must be hard.
It must be so hard.
See, we didn't choose to be socially awkward. They chose to get a bob haircut.
That's what I mean. It's like you clearly have some autonomy.
Especially now.
You can clearly make decisions. Like, you know what you're doing. You chose that haircut. And you're going to act out like this in public?
I want to know if anyone goes to like a hairstylist and they're like, "Oh yeah, just give me the Karen."
Right?
And it's like, you have to know on some level. I want to hear from women who embrace it.
Dude,
I want to hear from women who say, like, I am a Karen. When I get my hairstyle done, I want the Karen. And it's like, I want to know. So, like, I'm sure there's a T-shirt for them somewhere that's like proud Karen. And it's got like a
My
circle with a
baseball
spash through it. It's got like I'm sure there's a T-shirt for it.
The hairstyle started with like John and K +8. Wasn't that like the hairstyle?
I thought it was Victoria Beckham.
Same thing, I think. One's like.
It's probably the same hairstyle.
Like soccer mom version of that, you know,
sure.
Not supermodel, but they're both derived from the same thing.
Did you have a rebuttal?
To what?
To what we're saying about Karens. Didn't you have something?
I had an additional theory. I did. It's just a thought. I think it goes in line with some Karens, quote unquote, if you will, not being able to like just act in public. I think some of them, or some people think that Karens are actually, the term Karen at least, is sexist, ageist, classist, and anti-women.
Some people think that.
Some people think that.
I think Karens think that.
Yeah. And they're basically saying, victimizing the term Karen and saying it's just a way to tell women to shut up. And I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either, because if I want to tell a woman to shut up, I'll tell her to shut up.
You tell them so.
I'm sorry. My rotisserie chickens are perfectly fine. Shut up.
I don't need a we call that like a what is the term for that? Like a metaphor,
right?
For that sort of thing.
No, it's like let's go Brandon.
Yeah, like I know that's what I'm thinking of. It's like the same thing. It's like I don't need a term.
It's like a cute little hidden phrase. It's like, no, just say it.
Like, you're not a Karen. You're just maybe you're just a bitch. Dare I say?
Could be.
Dare I say?
Chris pulling no punches over here.
I'm not. I'm certainly not. Some say the term Karen is misogynistic inherently. How you feel about that?
I think there's actually some valid argument there, but at the same time, it's Karens. So
Yeah, like, that's the thing. It's like, non-Karens aren't like, don't give a shit about this Karen argument because that's not them. So you're right. Only Karens would argue, like, for clarification on Karen. Because they're like, not me, I'm not a Karen. And they want to make sure they're not a Karen, so they got to put out these articles to
I would ask, though,
set the standards of what a Karen is.
I would ask, though, do you think that a person, we could even say non-Karen, has ever had their valid argument shut down because people were just like, shut up, Karen?
Oh, yeah. I think that's...
Even though they just had, like, an actual
that's,
valid
like, their
argument.
best case argument for that. Like, but... I feel like... they're trying to say that because, like, the Karen thing might be overused, that, like, that was one of their fears, I read, that, like, they're just afraid that they're going to be Karened, you know?
I like to think that there's, like, a little support group. They meet up.
My name's Karen. I was
Karen. I was Karen.
I didn't even do anything. I didn't mind they were playing basketball.
Yeah. They have, like, bougie mimosas, and I bet that's a real thing.
Karen's support group.
But I can imagine, so, like, a situation where, let's say there's a group of teens hanging out, loitering, if you will, smoking marijuana. And a woman walks by, typical Karen-looking person, but she walks by, and she catches a whiff of this, like smoke's blown in her face. And she's like, oh my God, you guys shouldn't be doing that. And then I can see that being like, well, you just shut up, Karen. And it's like, well, that's actually a valid argument. But, probably a bunch of kids just start yelling, like, F you, Karen. See that. And it's like, I can understand when that gets done. So I'm sure that there are things to be said about it.
It needs to be a Karen coalition.
A Karen coalition. A coalition. Oh, it's horrible. It's gross.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I can understand some of the other arguments about it, but at the same time, it's definitely helpful to have a name. And as we've seen since the antebellum period of the American South, there has been a name for this type of person.
Yeah, and for the guys, it was Mr. Charles.
That's right. Mr. Charlie.
Yeah, Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie.
So that it has existed for a very long time. I don't think it's necessarily...
It's kind of like cancel culture. It's like, it's there, but now it's just a different term for it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. It's just...
Karen.
That's the, like, right-wing version of cancel culture. They're just like, oh, no, they Karen'd us. I don't know. It's so weird.
We got Karen'd. Yeah, it's... And even guys, like, say guys can be Karens, too. They go into, like, those nipple-rubbing bro-downs, Just ready to fight somebody. That sort of thing.
I thought this was America.
Yeah.
They put tough mufflers on their trucks.
Karens come in all shapes and sizes. I did want to say, I think some Karens just, like, straight up have, like, no game, and they're trying to flirt, and they know no other way. They're just that socially inept. And they just go out there and think, maybe if I just be a horrible person, they'll notice me, and maybe at the end of the day, they'll want it.
If that's your method,
we
all gotta have a method.
The thing is, everything else they do is so illogical, Karens in general, like, something that insane might make sense, It's like, wouldn't put it past them. Because, like, what is a Karen at the end of the day? Just a terrible person. Right? Don't be a Karen. Do you have any final words for Karenism? Karens out there?
Just stop.
Yeah, just stop.
You're not as important as you think you are.
Definitely not.
You are hands down not nearly as important as you think you are. Just stop.
Yeah, no one cares if your name is misspelled on the Starbucks cup.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit.
Why do you correct them at the end of the process? Just get your coffee and go. Why are you telling them now? That's something you do at the beginning.
Like, you go through the drive-thru just to be like, hey.
No, it's Karen with a C. You do it different, so make sure you tell them at the beginning if it's going to be a big deal for you.
Yeah, when I'm on the phone and I tell someone, I'm like, hey, my name is blah, 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 and I spell that shit out.
Yeah.
That's it.
That way there's no confusion.
That's it.
Handle it on the front side.
I think, with all that said, I think our next segment, really kind of reinforces our last bit of discussion here on the Karen, about just kind of stopping what it's like to be a person. But we'll get into that in our last segment. Any final words? Hear about Karens?
No, I think I'm all right.
All right, we got to pay some more bills. So we'll be back to get this money.
That
Keep
inflation.
the show going. Joe Biden.
Sponsors for today's show are
Corporate Homeboy. Back in the day, getting called a homeboy was an insult. But nowadays, it's all the rage. From your best friend next door to your pal downtown in the hood, everybody's got a homeboy. Or do they? With new Corporate Homeboy, any brand name can have their very own gender-neutral, ethnic-friendly, corporate cool person to make your business, clean-cut establishment, or corporation just that. They're clean, they're offensively inoffensive, and most importantly, they're cool. And with one as the face of your place, your Corporate Homeboy is everybody's Corporate Homeboy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Corporate Homeboy, I can think of so many places that need that. I don't think we do, because I think me and you are cool enough on our own.
I wouldn't really mind it.
I wouldn't mind it either.
You're just kind of like over there, just vibing.
For sure. Like if we need a Corporate Homeboy, thank you for sponsoring the pod. But if we needed them, I would definitely use them. Like if I'm getting any kind of Corporate Homeboy, ethnic friendly, gender neutral, what more could you want? You know they're cool.
You love them
right off the bat.
I feel like they're probably like if you've ever seen like iRobot.
Yeah,
they're probably
that's
like that.
pretty much what they're like, except they got accessories. They got like you can get like bucket caps and wigs and things like that.
Nice. Homeboy them up.
Yeah, if you want a turban, you get a turban. You know,
cool.
They're pretty great. Really awesome guys. They're not gonna say anything that you would need like a problematic for. You could trust them. So Corporate Homeboy, if you're in need of a cool Corporate Homeboy, call corporatehomeboyheadquarters.com today and get your Corporate Homeboy.
Thank you, Corporate Homeboy, sponsoring the pod.
And we're back. Dylan, why don't you tell the folks at home what we're doing right now?
We are doing what we're calling a non-obtuse reading.
A little more serious.
Yeah, so if you think back, we did the obtuse reading where we read raps as poems.
Which I thought was really serious. This is just serious.
This time we're going to switch it up, and we're going to do poems as poems.
Poems as poems. Who would have thought?
I know. It's crazy.
Who would have thought? You know, when we discussed bringing this in, I think it's perfect pair for Karen's as well. My mind immediately went to Rudyard Kipling.
Rudyard
Kipling. Yeah.
So
most people know him as Rudyard.
I almost did Rudyard Kipling. My favorite poet, actually. I almost did Rudyard Kipling.
He's pretty good.
It's pretty racist, too. I know. I'm aware. But
I think he has some good words, though.
He has some great words. I love Rudyard Kipling, but I wanted to do a more serious one for this. But yes, I'm glad you bring up Rudyard Kipling because I almost did that one.
Cool. So maybe you like this one. Have you heard of it? It's called If.
No freaking way.
Yes.
No. It was between the one I'm doing and
here we
If.
are. Well, here
we didn't discuss this at all.
No.
Are you serious right now?
Oh, God.
I love If. It was literally the one I was going to do, and then I was like, no, I'm going to do this one.
Well,
incredible.
Look at that.
This is
Pod
why
magic.
This is why we're a freaking team, folks. Pod magic.
So you get the best of both worlds today.
I have If memorized. I'm so glad that you're going to do it.
Hopefully I can do it justice.
Please. I'm going to be grading you fiercely.
Okay. So this is Rudyard
Kipling.
Rudyard Kipling's If. It also has Brother Square Toes, Rewards and Fairies. I don't know if that's relevant.
Probably not.
Okay. I feel like I'm being judged.
You are. This is literally one of my favorite poems. So
okay. All right. Can I tell the reason I chose this one?
Please.
Because, like, reading it especially ties into just being, I think, a good person, you know?
Absolutely. It's especially, a little mantra.
Yeah, especially after Karen's. It's like, let's take us back to the ground, you know? So this is If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being hated, don't give way to hating. And yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream, and not make your dreams your master. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build 'em up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart, nerve, and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
It's a great poem.
It's pretty good.
It's a great little mantra. If you can memorize it, just kind of like say bits to yourself, you can kind of like recognize trials you'll go throughout your day where you kind of like find pieces of the poem that really kind of help you out. It is a fantastic poem. I'm so happy you chose it.
Pretty good, nice little coincidence there, huh?
It is. That's crazy.
So I had no clue.
If I may, did you have anything you want to say about it?
So I think one line that really sticks out to me is, and I think you'll agree, these two, I guess. On being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise.
Is that why you picked it?
I mean, it's one that stands out to me.
Yeah.
I'll say that. I'll definitely say that.
It fits for the podcast.
It does.
It really does.
So really, especially for me in general, but I'm glad despite zero planning, we could come to those same pods. So please, let's hear yours.
So I chose something a little bit more serious. I mean, his is serious, but mine's a little bit more down, if you will. I chose Dulce et Decorum Est by Wilfred Owen. I'm in the middle of doing some World War I research and stuff right now. It always gets me in a somber mood. We're also approaching the anniversary for the Battle of the Somme, so I chose this one. Wilfred Owen was a Canadian soldier serving in World War I, and he wrote this poem sort of as a rebuttal to a British propagandist, a female propagandist, who wrote the term Dulce et Decorum Est pro patria mori as a little propaganda poster. So that's Latin taken from the Latin orator Horace. And I'll tell you what it means at the end of the poem, not to spoil it. But he wrote this poem basically in rebuttal to her saying that young men should be going off and joining the fight and fighting for king and country and this and that. So this is his rebuttal to her, written to her. And this is again Dulce et Decorum Est by Wilfred Owen. Bent double, like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge, till on the haunting flares we turned our backs and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshod. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of tired, outstripped 5-9s that dropped behind. Gas! Gas! Quick, boys! In ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time, but someone still was yelling out and stumbling and floundering like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes in thick green light, as if under a green sea, I saw him drowning. In all my dreams, before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face like a devil's, sick of sin. If you could hear at every jolt the blood come gurgling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues, my friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie, dulce et decorum est pro patria mori, that it is somehow sweet and fitting to die for your country. I think that's what happens when you have people who've never seen combat writing rousing words about combat, trying to urge kids to go into combat.
Sounds very pomp and circumstance.
He was very much sickened by the propaganda of World War I.
Is that what the word means?
What?
You said you were going to tell us at the end?
The words are dulce et decorum est pro patria mori. They mean how sweet and fitting to die for your country. So basically saying if you're, a child of your country, you should go die for it. You should be willing to do that.
If you ain't a bitch.
And Wilfred Owen and myself at least disagree.
That's a good one.
I love that poem.
That was nice. We got two very solid unobtuse readings.
Yeah, I thought that went quite well.
I look forward to more of these.
I know, this will be fun.
Those are great. Last time we did a day pod, we also did some readings. It's kind of.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah,
you're right.
That was the last day pod.
That was the last day pod.
So I did have one more bit of business, unless you had something else to say.
What do you got?
So last week I wanted to give a shout out to a charity because we talked about being broke, never going to meals, not having enough meals. But I didn't want it to turn into just like a PSA about eye health again. Also, the last episode when we did a day pod, conveniently enough, so I actually looked into the charity this time. The charity is NoKidHungry.org. They do lots of great stuff. They could turn $1 into 10 meals. It's the only national campaign to keep kids from starvation. Did you know that?
I didn't.
It's the only. You think there'd be more? You would think there'd be more.
Sounds like there would be.
So their mission statement is to end childhood hunger. And honestly, that's one of the things that gets me about being broke is like when you're a kid, you don't have the food or whatever. Like, that's sad. So, check them out. Donate some money. They partner with things like Walmart, which, as we mentioned, is ironic because they probably throw away a fuck ton of food. A bunch of food.
Sponsored by Walmart.
Yeah. They got some other
maybe they're getting into like sending as much as they can to like
probably
that kind of charity and stuff.
That's nice though.
That'd be nice. Hopefully they do.
Hopefully.
Because we do give like a bunch of our stuff to the food bank and stuff. So
we do as much as we can, even if it's just cakes. It's mostly just fucking
it's mostly
cakes.
Just cakes and cookies. Good nutritionally dense food.
Yeah. But with that said, any last remarks before we close out?
No, man, this is fun. I freaking love the day pods. They're always fun.
It's great.
And now we get to go out and drink
nice
and just have a great time.
All done. Don't even have to bring our notebooks.
Don't even got to bring the notebooks.
Don't even got to bring
Probably
the notebooks.
Still will.
Probably still will.
Probably still will.
You never know what inspiration may strike. So with all that said, I love you, man.
I love you.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
You're a loser ghetto skank. Without a goal in life and you're broke.
There was a storm.
And you're broke.
And you're broke.
I wonder what is this
A loser ghetto skank.
Is it going to melt
And you're broke.